to remind you, don't you ever let anybody take your power from you. You have the same power that you did before November 5th. And you have the same ability to engage and inspire. So don't ever let anybody or any circumstance take your power from you.
Kamala's farewell address. I think she's on her 7th serving of joy here. Don't let them take your power from you. But particularly me. That power belongs to me. It's mine, and you can't have it. I was a great candidate. I was unburdened and middle class. I was such a first. I ate the nose to for. I ate nose for breakfast. Doug, don't you touch that camera. I'm still going, okay? Doug, I said.
So Thanksgiving is here and the parade is just around the corner. A parade is the one thing that Tim Walz is actually qualified for. That guy was constantly lying about his titles. Command Sergeant Major when he wasn't. Head coach when he wasn't. Heterosexual male when he wasn't.
Are either of you homosexuals?
You mean like flaming or?
And here's some footage of the legacy media reviewing Trump's cabinet. Speaking of legacy media, Mika and Joe, who want to preserve their $10 million deal with the soon-to-be disintegrating MSNBC, went to meet with Trump.
Joe and I went to Mar-a-Lago to meet personally with President-elect Trump. It was the first time we have seen him in 7 years.
They spoke about it like it was a détente between two powerful adversaries. Somehow I think their meeting with Trump was a little less dignified.
I'm just a cliff top. I'm a nobody. I can't die out here in the woods like a dumb animal.
Now, we talked about a lot of issues, including abortion, mass deportation, threats of political retribution.
Oh, please don't kill us. Please don't kill us. You know I love you, baby.
He didn't see eye to eye on a lot of issues, and we told him so.
I beg you, protect me.
Their ratings are now horrible. They need Trump, not the other way around. They are perpetual grifters. We now know that they will say anything. So you might as well just swap out the name.
And F you if you can't handle the truth. This version of
Trump,
intellectually, analytically, is the best
Trump
ever.
And now I'd like to thank the sponsor of this video. Yeah, there is no sponsor of this video, so I need your help. Like, comment, subscribe, share, hit the bell. Thank you. The Trump victory, if anything, is a massive repudiation and rejection of mainstream media. Is it any shock that the media won't conduct any self-examination or to learn something from their competitors? Take the chairman of ABC in Australia.
What's behind the Joe Rogan effect, how you believe he's managed to so successfully capture this huge market. And then for us here in Australia, you know, how would or should the ABC be going about capturing that kind of audience?
Look, I'm not sure that I'm the right person to respond to that question.
He should have stopped right there.
I am not a consumer or enthusiast about Mr. Rogan and his work.
Shocking.
I am not one of the 3 billion, and I'm unlikely to be 3 billion and one anytime soon. I think people like Mr. Rogan prey on people's vulnerabilities. They prey on fear. They prey on anxiety.
Do you hear yourself?
So the guy prefaces his comments with reasons why he's not qualified to give an opinion, but then proceeds to give a dissertation, condemning Rogan as a predator for people who are scared, anxious, and ignorant. If there was a principal journalist in the room, instead of laughing, they would ask a question. If you haven't listened, if you have no examples to point to, how can you, as the head of a news network, be so decisive in your condemnation? He's scoffing and dismissing 3 billion people without hesitating for a second. Look out, someone might call that a threat to democracy. He doesn't even condescend to answer the question. The question is, how does ABC capture the market that Joe Rogan gets? But he doesn't give a shit about getting that. They're not worthy of his focus.
We're not worthy. We're not worthy.
The media keeps telling you their priorities, and it's not to convince you. It's to corral you. This is NPR CEO.
Most tricky disagreements, seeking the truth and seeking to convince others of the truth, isn't necessarily the best place to start. In fact, I think our reverence for the truth might have become a bit of a distraction that is preventing us from finding consensus and getting important things done.
You see, your need for the truth seriously gets in the way of our lying and getting things done that we want done, particularly at your expense. I'm going to go ahead and take a shot that she's not much of a Rogan fan either. Should taxpayers be footing the bill for news organizations that believe that truth is a distraction? If you're not making the truth a priority, then you're making lies a priority. You know, in order to get things done. Getting things done, like locking down for COVID. As Trump's nominee for NIH, Jay Bhattacharya, explained, that was kind of a calamity.
Study was a really interesting model study. It suggests that 100 million people had skipped cancer screening during the pandemic.
100 million?
100 million cancer screenings have been, I shouldn't say people, 100 million cancer screenings had been skipped. And that's going to lead to 1 million people with later stage cancer that should have been picked up, often will kill them that shouldn't have killed them. In the US, something like 1 in 4 young adults seriously considered suicide in June of 2020. There are like measles cases now, outbreaks in the United States, because people skipped basic immunization. Polio has come back. In poor countries, it's even worse. I think Uganda, the estimate is that 4.5 million kids, after 2 years of Zoom school, which is ridiculous in a country like Uganda, they never came back to school. We fueled inequality in a way that it's almost unimaginable. They were a disastrous failure that has harmed the economic well-being, the physical well-being, the psychological well-being of vast populations. Any inquiry like the parliamentary that's happening in the UK that doesn't conclude that lockdowns were a disaster, I think won't have been an honest evaluation. There's a lot of people who made these decisions that have a strong vested interest in making sure that these inquiries end up saying, "Oh, everything was fine. We did the best we could under circumstances where it's difficult." But that's not actually right. They suppressed voices that opposed it.
Right, because seeking the truth might lead to disagreement, which gets in the way of...
that is preventing us from finding consensus and getting important things done.
They engaged in unethical behaviors like stoking fear in the population. They made tremendously bad decisions by closing themselves off from criticism. They employed censorship in social media and a whole bunch of other settings so that people couldn't effectively push back.
But these people don't care, because after all...
I am not one of the 3 billion.
So I'm thankful for Trump's victory. Of course, the party that relishes lockdowns has no problem encouraging lockdowns from family and friends over other things.
I am sorry I cannot sit down to a dinner table and split a turkey with family members after I know they believe others don't deserve basic human rights.
Doesn't this condescending moral superiority thing ring a bell?
Yes, I agree fully.
Is this a wind-up?
You should not be in the shop.
I'm thankful for anything that threatens liars who disallow criticism, skepticism, examination, and do it at the cost of millions of people.
3 billion.
I'm sorry, I meant billions. Thanks for watching. Be sure to comment, like, subscribe. Be sure to pass around to anybody who might like my content. And I'll see you the next time.